Today I'm going to be showing you how I made these modern cube planters with concrete. The first step was to prepare my heavy-duty boxes. I'm using diaper boxes because I had many left over, and I'm using packaging tape to seal all the spots the concrete might seep through. You especially want to make sure you tape down the insides so that the surface where the concrete is poured will end up smooth. Next, I chose a smaller box to make the cavity for the center. You have to ensure 2 inches of space around the whole perimeter so the concrete is thick enough to be strong. After taping up the sides of the smaller box for the inside, I have everything ready for my concrete mold. Now it's time to mix up the concrete. Be sure to wear a ventilation mask, eye protection, and gloves when working with concrete. I'm using Quickcrete's Ready Set Dry Mix. I grabbed a bucket that could get dirty and added the dry concrete mix. Using a trowel, I broke up the clumps. Then I used a hose to add water into my bucket. This wasn't an exact science for me. I just added water bit by bit until the concrete mix was the consistency of peanut butter. It was tiring on my wrist to mix with a hand trowel, so I would recommend using a garden shovel if you are mixing concrete at home. Then I started filling my diaper box with the trowel. I got about 2 inches deep on the bottom of the box before I picked up the box and tapped it gently. When bubbles arise on the surface, you know you're good. These bubbles will cause holes in the concrete when it cures if you don't get them out. Then I placed my smaller box inside and filled around it with concrete. I had to hold it down with my hand so it didn't rise up with the added concrete. To get the bubbles out, I pressed against the walls of the inner box. Concrete needs to cure over 5 to 7 days. In order to give my planters support during that time, I placed concrete blocks around the mold. I pushed them up around the walls to hold everything where I wanted it to be. To support the inner box from caving in, I filled that with a bunch of rocks from my garden. Some people suggest misting your concrete with a hose each day to prevent it from curing too fast. Since my molds were made from cardboard, I didn't think I could do that. Instead, I covered it with a tarp and let it sit for 7 whole days. When the concrete had finally cured, I removed the tarp and cinder blocks. After ripping away the cardboard molds, I was happy to see one turned out really great, but disappointed to see the other one didn't. The next step was sanding all sides of the concrete with 60 grit sandpaper wrapped around a wood block. The one that cured with holes from air bubbles, I decided to use spackling compound to fix. This product is usually used on drywall, but it said it can be used on stucco, which is similar to concrete. It also said it can be used in exterior applications if painted. Before painting, I vacuumed up all my dust and debris. I'm spray painting my concrete planters with one of my favorite products, Rust-Oleum 2x Cover in the color Gloss Black. I sprayed multiple coats and also sprayed a couple polyurethane layers for protection. At this point, you could use a masonry bit to drill through the bottom for drainage. I didn't have one, so instead I placed an inexpensive plastic pot with holes in the bottom inside my planter. I filled it with potting soil and planted my grass. I chose Carl Forrester because this tall grass will balance out the look of my short, blocky planters. Whenever I need to water, I can simply remove the plastic planters with drainage and fill in soil where needed. If you enjoyed this project like I did, click share on this video. Thanks for watching, and be sure to follow and subscribe.